What do you guys want to talk about?
Even some of that X-Wing.
Yeah, man, I've been reading
Chicken Wing.
X-Wing, the first book in the X-Wing series. It's Rogue Squadron.
Does it have Wedge and Tilly?
It does have Wedge. Yeah, he is the man. It is written by Michael Stackpole, which I've been seeing on some of the Star Wars sites that like there was just a what do they call it? A Force Con, I think is like a Star Wars convention. Michael Stackpole was there. Timothy Zahn was there.
Oh, the Zahn.
Yeah, and they were showing like they would show him beside big, huge ass Lego fucking Star Wars things there. It was all kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
It looked super nerdy, but man, I wanted to be there when I saw the
yeah.
pictures. It looked super awesome. But back to X-Wing.
Stank.
Michael Stankpole.
No, he just burped on my face and it smells bad.
Oh.
Burp stink.
Oh. Sorry, moving on.
Rogue Squadron.
Forgot math there for a second.
There are about 10 books in this series. The last one I think came out like 3 years ago. But it's all about, it's after Jedi, and it's all about them building the Rogue Squadron again, which the Rogue Squadron was, okay. The Rogue Squadron was, that's the squadron that, of X-Wings that basically attacked the Death Star.
It's the A-Team.
Yeah, I mean that was all the, like you were saying, Porkins, Wedge, Biggs, all those guys were. That was all Rogue Squadron. So, the the Alliance basically after the second Death Star, they want to build this Rogue. They want to build the Rogue Squadron up as more of a symbol. So they're taking like aliens from all over the galaxy.
That's what it's like Last Starfighter.
Yeah. It's all the best of the best from
Good
everywhere,
movie.
from everywhere, and
This is an all-star team.
yeah, and that's what, and this is a symbol. This is supposed to be a symbol against
Tyranny.
the Empire, which the Empire is definitely still a thing. The intelligence officer. Well, this isn't actually canon anymore.
Yeah, none of this is canon.
But still a great story.
Still fun to read.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is the movies and everything that's coming out now is still pulling from that material.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of why I started this, because I wanted to get sort of familiar with that and see how Rogue One sort of tied into it.
Yeah.
Even though it looks like a completely separate sort of.
But still, with Rogue One, I mean, you know that they're going to pull some of the story
Yeah.
elements and that kind of stuff.
I mean,
from
it's
still
the
name
stuff that's
drop
come
like
before.
For this series,
no,
I mean,
they couldn't because this takes place. Okay. Rogue One takes place before.
Well, they're
4.
saying one of the guy that has the mustache in that promo picture for Rogue One that they shot out, they were thinking that might be Biggs.
Oh,
Well, he better not be a little bitch, because he's kind of a bitch in the original.
So the whole book centers kind of around this character, Corran Horn. Yeah.
What's his
Corn.
Corran.
Corn
Horn. Yeah, it's kind of a weird. Kind of
Centers
weird.
around this
saying-
character, Cornhole.
Are you saying horn?
Horn.
H-O-R-N?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought you said
Horn.
Corin Horan.
Corn me Horn.
Yeah, I forgot. It's Dr. Seuss' book.
Yeah, that's why I laughed. It's like, really?
No, Corran Horn.
Okay.
C-O-R-R-A-N. Horn.
All right.
Corran Horn.
He's a pilot.
He is a pilot, but he used to be part of Corellian security. So a lot of the pilots in this used to be part of the Empire. So like
What?
one of the guys was actually one of the trainers was actually a TIE fighter who was who was from Alderaan, right? So
Not anymore. Alderaan gone.
So Alderaan obviously got blown up to pieces, and so that's when he decides to go to the Rebel Alliance, start fighting for them, training the pilots. I've gotten about halfway through.
All right, now we're good.
I've gotten about halfway through the book, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah?
It's pretty good. Yeah.
So you said Porkins is in it?
No, well, they just reference.
They reference it,
Yeah, they only
okay.
reference. But they reference these. It's like these guys are heroes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like Biggs, Darklighter, and Porkins. They're all the guys that flown against the Death Star,
that fell
and
at the
all
Death Star.
yeah, and all these new guys are like, man, if I could just be like, you know, they're
If
look
I
up
could
to these kids. You
If I
know?
could just be like Porkins.
Yeah, but and it's all these heroes that are part of Rogue Squad, and they want to be a hero, but they know part of being a hero is they have to die.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You know, it's all posthumous.
You either turn into the villain, you either die the hero, or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
There you go, man. Yeah, and it's really good. It gives you a little bit more insight to like what happened. You know, because when Jedi ends, they blow up the Death Star.
Right.
But it's not over then. You know, I mean, there's still the Empire is
What are
the
you talking
Empire.
about? They had Galaxy Wise the Chub Chub song. all the planets were singing Chub Chub.
No, it's
and they're all partying.
It's still not over, man.
They knocked the statue of the Emperor down. It's all over.
The Empire is still everywhere, man. So the Empire, at this point, the planets are open. So the Alliance are trying to go get planets that might have been Empire planets, and the Empire are like, we're still here. You know, we still want to protect you or do whatever, have whatever kind of deal we have with you. So at this point, everybody's trying to get planets for a much larger war that's going to happen at a later time. But since the Empire is so weak, they want Rogue Squadron to go and attack Coruscant, basically the Empire headquarters right there. So that's kind of what the whole book leads up to, is them getting to Coruscant. And
Okay, so they formed this team, and their mission is to go to Coruscant.
yeah,
and fuck shit up.
and all the while they give you sort of like, and this is where it gets really nerdy, but like more details on how they do hyperspace and all that sort of stuff. It gets if you're really into Star Wars and you really want to get into some trivial sort of stuff.
Remember that time when you came into work? It's like, I know way too much about Alliance lingo.
Yeah, all of that and what they, you know, all this they call TIE fighters eyeballs.
I know what the Kessel Runs means now in way too much detail.
Yeah, if you're into learning that much about Star Wars, or you just want like a Top Gun sort of story.
Okay, that's what you. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's what we were talking about. We were
Yeah,
talking about Top Gun.
I mentioned it last time. Yeah, because it sort of has, you know, where Wedge would be the trainer guy, you know, and Tom Cruise is sort of like the Corn Horn, and they have another character that's sort of like the
Viper.
Yeah.
And Corn Horn. Guy that time
Yeah.
is Maverick.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I guess that would make like his droid, which is called Whistler. I think he's an R2 droid.
He is Chris Christopherson from Blade.
So and then they also have like a Val Kilmer character. Who was that guy? Val Kilmer.
Iceman.
They have an Iceman. His name is Jace Bror.
That's the guy who turns into the. Which one did you say became a Jedi?
No, Corrin eventually becomes a Jedi.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. Wikipedia him.
Wikipedia.
Damn.
So
straight.
yeah.
That sounds really interesting, dude.
No, it's pretty good.
You said there's 10 books in the series?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Damn.
Yeah, and the first 4 are an overall arc.
Okay.
And then after that, they're right up there actually. And after that, it gets by some different authors. But Michael Stackpole eventually comes back to the book.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Is Admiral Akbar in it?
They have mentioned him. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. They've mentioned him and a few other generals, but yeah, mainly it's like Wedge and the guy that used to be part of the Imperial Army, who's like training everybody. Like he
Okay.
used to be a
That's
TIE
awesome.
fighter.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and he's training the Rogue Squadron on basically TIE maneuvers and all that sort of
Oh,
stuff.
speaking of that, I don't know how far either one of you got with the Dark Horse, just Star Wars comic
Nope.
before the license reverted back to Marvel. It's kind of like that, or at least like the last 5 or 6 issues.
Really?
Yeah, because
man.
there's one of the Rebels leaders, like nephews, was in the Imperial Army, and like one of the commanders, like one of the high ups. And this whole time he was like, yeah, this like the whole Civil War kind of thing, like family against family. And it turns out that the nephew was working with the rebels the entire time. So he just like rolls up one day and he's like, all right, look what I got. And he brought like a TIE Advanced or something into like the Rebel
Yeah.
Starfleet, and I was like, all right, what you guys want to know? And it's like at that moment whenever he rolled up, it was like, oh, this is fucking awesome now.
See
That was
me
Brian Wood
rolling.
was the one who was writing that stuff.
Oh, I think I have a lot of those books. I started that series off, but then
I trailed off there towards the end.
Yeah.
I never started the trail.
It's really good. They should have trades for that whole series. Should
Oh,
Be
most
out now,
definitely. Should
hopefully.
be
Isn't that
out,
book that you bought?
Which one?
Didn't you buy like a Star Wars book with comics in it recently?
That was the Star Wars.
Oh yeah, that was
The
the Star.
hardback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one that was based off of the original rough draft written by Lucas.
So not the same thing.
Hmm.
Got it.
But they were coming out around the same time. They were both released around the same time.
Word.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to read about Star Wars ships and X-wings, and it really gets into like the differences between them. Rogue Squadron, good stuff.
Cool, man.
Also a phenomenal game.